Blog Talk Radio.
You're watching The Madness of a Lost Society. November 26, 2010, Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
In case you didn't hear, the leaders of China and Russia.
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order, this is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion and economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare, when they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve system.
You tell us who they are.
No.
If this is America, who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic.
All right, everybody. Joseph Gibson podcasting here, understanding the times in which we live today, the Republic, restoring our Republic, the Republic. That's what we do every Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Greensboro, North Carolina, and from all over the country and around the world. People are listening, and they got their eyes on us, the Republic, and America. And what are we going to do about what's happening? We all got our eyes on supposedly next week, right? Next Tuesday. Whoa, yeah. Folks, don't go there. Just don't even, that's not your government. That's a de facto district of criminals and corporation that does not care about you. They twist their own laws. They make their own codes and statutes and apply them only to themselves when needed, and then they take it out on us. And the central bankers of the world right now know they got us, and they got us real tight in their grips and their grasp, and they're going to pull the rug out from underneath us. They will. But you have right here in America the Republic, the lawful de jure government that's here withstanding. It's just up to the people to accept it and to take it and use it and use the law peacefully for them and on their side to restore our country and America. So I'm going to turn it over to the Republic. Go ahead.
Thank you, Joseph. I'm James Carpenter, and thank you for joining with us tonight, America, as we visit the subject of restoring your republic. We have a team with us tonight: Jen, David Hertler, Mark, and Governor Dean Henning, and along with the Gator from.
There we go.
There you go, Gator. How you doing tonight, buddy? And
hey,
Joseph
everybody.
Gibson.
It's been a while, everybody, and it's an honor to be back with everyone here. I got a few things I'd like to say tonight. Whenever you can give me the time, give me the floor, I'd sure appreciate it. But go ahead, sir.
Thank you. We'll certainly accommodate you here in a few minutes. You know, it's interesting that you picked that intro, Joe. As I was getting ready for the show tonight, I'm thinking about the whole situation, just like everybody is. And I'm thinking, you know, I see people in different stages of waking up and realizing who they are. And that's really what everybody's trying to figure out, is who they are. And it can be the people in our government, in a de facto government, that's got to make a decision as to who they are. It can be people on the street level, blue-collar people like you and me, Joe, figuring out who we are. People like David Strayed and his followers trying to figure out who they are. And, you know, we didn't invent this subject. It's been going on for a long time. And probably the one thing that separates those among us in the Republic is that we have studied our history. And our history tells us who we are. And our history tells us when we mess up and go astray and the consequences of that. And so don't think that just the people here that's talking to you tonight invented this. This has been going on for years and years, far longer than any of us have ever been alive. But in that sense, then, the people back in 2010 figured out who they are. They had an opportunity. They took advantage of it. And we're bringing forth history so that we can help the American people and people around the world understand who they are. So last week, we started on a new endeavor, reading our Declaration of Sovereign Intent and Claim and Interest. And it all started with the claim and interest part. And it's like bankrupting a corporation. The creditors have to get in line. And we saw the opportunity, and so we, the American people, put you first in line in claim and interest of the corporation that's being bankrupted. And this is important for you to understand. And that's why we're taking the time to read all these documents to you that you can follow along and hear it here on multiple different websites or on our website at republicfortheunitedstatesofamerica.org. So, Jen, we left off last week with a reading of page 4. Let's begin on page 5, if you would, please.
Thank you. It is an honor. Whereas, by a constitutionally unlawful act of Congress on February 21st, 1871, the territory of the seat of government of the original de jure republic within the District of Columbia was incorporated with the District of Columbia, forming a new municipal U.S. government corporation operating upon the American people as a democratic, executively administrated municipal corporate government. And whereas all de jure executive officers of the United States of America are required to take an oath to support the Constitution and an oath of office, which places them under constitutional executive authority, conversely, members of Congress are required to take only an oath to support the Constitution. Members of Congress are prohibited from holding any civil office and are constitutionally identified only as members of Congress, known as the Senate Chamber and the House Chamber. lawful representatives of the sovereign people of the United States of America. After the assassination of President Lincoln in 1865, the Senate and House began taking a civil oath, the Exhibit 6, of office. And after February 21, 1871, they changed the name of the Senate chamber to U.S. Senate to accommodate for the change from a de jure Republic Congress to the new U.S. corporation government, mandating that all members of Congress take the new civil oath of office, thus becoming de facto Congress officers of the U.S. corporation in an executive branch administrative capacity, no longer lawful members of Congress and no longer representing the American people, pursuant to the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. And whereas this new form of government unlawfully imposed a foreign legal system, which is in opposition to the people of America and our law form, and the Municipal Corporate Congress replaced the Constitution circa 1791, articles with amendments using Roman numerals, without full knowledge and consent of we the people, and without authorization in accord with basic fundamental law. And their foreign decree legal system, by fraud, imposed non-injury prosecution upon we the people, without sufficient full disclosure required by law. And whereas said foreign decree legal system was imposed by deceptive acts and practices, indicating ill-intent governance by all caps United States municipal corporation actors in malgovernance, and Congress and other government organs and offices by valid circa 1791 Constitution were abandoned under duress since Reconstruction Act. And whereas the all caps United States Municipal Corporate Congress circa 1913 imposed the unlawful Federal Reserve Act upon we the people. This invasion and trespass by commerce fraud by so-called public officials was committed against we the people without our knowledge or consent. And local free people were forced into involuntary servitude and poverty as a result of unlawful acts, commercial crimes, and all crimes inclusive, parentheses 27, capital CFR 72.11, close parentheses. Contrary to our law form, and in direct violation and trespass of oaths of office and fiduciary duties by, quote, public officials, unquote, working within their all caps United States municipal corporation. And we the people hold this as a conspiracy contrived by the international banking cartel and bad actors within the all caps United States Municipal Corporate Congress. And whereas the all caps United States Municipal Corporation, circa 1916, in collusion and conspiracy with the Federal Reserve, did in fact, by act of fraud, impose unapportioned direct tax in the form of an income tax upon the labor of we the people. And this unlawful tax is currently being assessed, charged, and collected against millions of free people in America without lawful consent, as required by existing laws, institutions, capital A through capital Z, comma, 1 to 301, ellipses, comma. Judges, 7, semicolon, by cause of foreign decrees, non-legislated codes, statutes, and agency regulations, many millions of people have been accused and imprisoned by non-injury prosecution in direct tort and trespass against our law form and against our consent, against we the people. And whereas the Municipal Corporate Congress circa 1948 unlawfully imposed Title 18 of United States Code as the code for criminal prosecution, millions of unsuspecting people have been kidnapped, unlawfully arrested, prosecuted, and imprisoned for non-injurious crimes. All caps United States Municipal Corporation and the Municipal Corporate Congress continues without lawful or legal authority to prosecute we the people as fictitious all caps persons, using codes, statutes, and regulations imposed without our consent. The agents and principals of the all caps United States Municipal Corporation have committed egregious and horrific crimes against we the people, acting with full knowledge and intent to inflict undue harm on we the American people. And whereas, pursuant to the Jay Treaty and attachments, claims, show cause, points, and authorities, we the people proclaim that we are the rightful established heirs by birthright to the United States of America. We the people on the Republic for the United States of America continue vested, established, interest, and standing, being we the people of the Almighty Creator by divine providence, who by order of the Almighty Creator have lawful standing and right to claim to dominion over this land. We hereby claim and exercise that divine right. And whereas we the people hold that the intent of the Constitution and Jay Treaty founders, circa 1794, laid a firm foundation and delivered the party-state crown and its subdivisions unto justice by claims and show cause and injury and respective claims, whereby Great Britain, Britannica, Crown, the Crown, and all subsidiaries, agency, agents et al. Will make reparation with punctuality, without question. And whereas we the people hold, continue, claim, accept, and use the Jay Treaty with full jurisdiction for the United States of America, being paramount parties in interest, generally recognized by the Jay Treaty, circa 1794, between United States of America and Great Britain, Britannica, Crown, the Crown, and all subsidiaries, agencies, agents, et al. And whereas the following articles of the Jay Treaty are still in effect and define misdeeds, dishonor, and violations committed by the all caps United States municipal corporation, agents, employees, actors with England titles of nobility, in violation and trespass of original, quote, Article the 13th, unquote, ratified circa 1819, which others mislabel as the missing, quote, 13th Amendment, unquote, did unlawfully set aside the original, quote, Article the 13th, unquote, by an act of fraud upon the American people. And by the Jay Treaty, 19th of November, 1794, to circa 2012, quote, Article 28. It is agreed that the first 10 articles of this treaty shall be permanent, and that the subsequent articles except the 12th shall be limited in their duration to 12 years, to be computed from the day on which the ratifications of this treaty shall be exchanged, but subject to this condition, that whereas the said 12th article will expire by the limitation therein contained at the end of 2 years from the signing of the preliminary or other articles of peace, unquote. And B, by the Jay Treaty, 19th November, 1794 to circa 2012, quote, Article 1, there shall be a firm, inviolable, and universal peace, and a true and sincere friendship between His Britannic Majesty, his heirs and successors, and the United States of America, and between their respective countries, territories, cities, towns, and people of every degree, without exception of persons or places. And C period, by the Jay Treaty, 19th November, 1794 to circa 2012, quote, Article 2, they shall be at full liberty to remain there, or to remove with all or any part of their effects, and it shall also be free to them to sell their lands, houses, or effects, or to retain the property thereof at their discretion. Such of them as shall continue to reside within the said boundary lines shall not be compelled to become citizens of the United States, or to take any oath of allegiance to the government thereof, but they shall be at full liberty so to do if they think proper, and they shall make and declare their election within 1 year after the evacuation aforesaid. And all persons who shall continue there after the expiration of the said year, without having declared their intention of remaining subjects of His Britannic Majesty, shall be considered as having elected to become citizens of the United States, unquote. And D period, by the Jay Treaty, 19 November, 1794 to circa 2012, quote, Article 9, it is agreed that British subjects who who now hold lands in the territories of all caps United States, and American citizens who now hold lands in the dominions of His Majesty, shall continue to hold them according to the nature and tenure of their respective estates and titles therein, and may grant, sell, or devise the same to whom they please, in like manner as if they were natives, and that neither they nor their heirs or assigns shall, so far as may respect the said lands, be in the legal remedies incident thereto, be regarded as aliens, unquote. And Part E, by the Jay Treaty, 19 November 1794 to circa 2012, quote, Article 10, neither the debts due from individuals from one nation to individuals of the other, nor shares nor monies, which they may have in the public funds, or in the public or private in any event of war or national differences, be sequestered or confiscated, it being unjust and impolitic that debts and engagements contracted and made by individuals having confidence in each other and in their respective governments should ever be destroyed or impaired by national authority on account of national differences and discontents, unquote. And whereas we the people stand in agreement with the document commonly referred to as the Atlantic Charter, Exhibit 5, circa 1941, stating in part, quote, they, parentheses, United States of America and Great Britain, close parentheses, respect the right of all people to choose the form of government under which they live, and they wish to see sovereign rights and self-government restored, unquote. And whereas we the people are determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which has brought untold sorrow to mankind, we uphold the almighty creator-given unalienable human rights, dignity, and worth of mankind. We establish justice and promote the general welfare of all mankind to effect safety and happiness in order to let freedom ring. Toward these ends, we continue to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another as good neighbors, uniting our strength to maintain international peace and security. We, the people, desire friendly relations with all the peoples around the world. Accordingly, our respective governments through representatives assembled on the Republic for the United States of America who have exhibited their full powers found to be in good and due form, have established an internationally recognized de jure government known as the Republic for the United States of America, a republican form of government.
Thank you, Jen. David Herger, would you continue, please?
Where do I start here? Among the purposes of the Republic for the United States of America? Part A.
Correct.
To maintain domestic and international peace and security, and to that end, to take effective collective measures for the prevention and removal of threats to the peace and for the suppression of acts of aggression or other breaches of the peace, and to bring about by peaceful means and in conformity with the principles of justice and international law, adjustment or settlement of international disputes or situations which might lead to a breach of the peace, and B, to develop friendly relations and establish principles of honesty and integrity in commerce among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of all peoples, and C, to cooperate in solving international problems of an economic, social, culture, or humanitarian nature, promote and encourage respect for the almighty creator's given rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion, and whereas we the people, I can't read this because I got a letter, got numbers over the top of it. Can anybody help me? whereas we the people
favor forgiveness. We the people favor forgiveness above justice, and favor safe harbor over harm for those who repent and sin no more. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. And whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. Now, therefore, we the people herewith give notice that, quote, an act to provide governance for the District of Columbia, in parentheses, Exhibit 4, dated February 21, 1871, and related enabling acts are currently before the Republic for the United States of America Congress for repeal. And we the people do hereby claim, accept, adopt, and assert jurisdiction and dominion over all. In parentheses, all is defined to mean that it says all without prefabrication or exclusion, in parentheses. Then we go on, things within our national republic borders, including but not limited to the following: all fully or partially publicly funded lands, properties, waterways, rivers, lakes, creeks, streams, mountains, hills, valleys, forests, plateaus, caves, deserts, all natural resources, including but not limited to all assays, minerals, timber, oil, coal, all deposits of any kind, rocks, gravel, sand, water sources above or below ground, flora, fauna, all seeds of any kind, all DNA and DNA records, clones of any kind, non-human and semi-human species, all infrastructure, including but not limited to all fully or partially publicly funded post offices, U.S. Postal Service in its entirety, USPS in parentheses, airports, roads, highways, interstate highways, bridges, seaports, railways, including all related machinery, equipment and supplies, tunnels, all airspace above our borders to the highest height, all underground space below our borders to the lowest depth, all directly or indirectly, fully or partially, publicly funded facilities contained within airspace, underground space above or below our borders, all directly or indirectly, fully or partially, publicly funded above and below ground facilities, including but not limited to all military and paramilitary installations, operations, test sites, storage facilities, and contents thereof, machinery, equipment, supplies, firearms, all weapons, including but not limited to smart, nuclear, biological, and bacteriological, which are within, around, near, under, above our national borders, including and all weapons of mass destruction within, around, without, above, below, and in proximity to our national borders, and type of weapon that could pose any threat to our national borders or threaten our military or civilian personnel or our people at any location domestically or internationally, ammunition, supplies, uranium, enriched weapons, and all related equipment and supplies, atomic and nuclear weapons, and all related equipment and supplies, all experimental weapons and related equipment and supplies, HAARP, HAARP, in parentheses, High Frequency Active Aerial Research Program, on parentheses, and all related facilities, equipment, and supplies, bulk storage for any and all fuels, water or food, all aircraft, ships, boats, watercraft, submarines, undersea craft, land craft, subterranean craft, and machinery, airships, here are bills, satellites, whether conventional, non-conventional, or experimental, terrestrial, extraterrestrial, or intergalactic, or any other type of navigable or non-navigable craft. All funds, trust accounts of any source that are public or partially publicly funded, directly or indirectly, held by or on behalf of the United States, all cap letters, municipal corporation, or any subsidiary corporation, partnership, contractor, or entity thereof, any type assets belonging to ownership or interest to the people of the Republic for the United States of America, that is under the direction and control of the United States. This includes all directly or indirectly, fully or partially publicly funded trusts. Investment at help me there.
Investment accounts, bank accounts. Sorry.
Funds trade platforms and private placement platforms for all experimental, secret, and black projects. Absolute ownership of all currencies, foreign and domestic, held or not held, electronic transfer and data for all banking transactions worldwide, and any bank infrastructure, banking access code numbers, PIN numbers, and any other public or private access code numbers to any and all bank accounts or any such thing of value, keys, combinations, access codes, passwords to any lockers or storage facilities, natural resources of any kind, all types, petrodollars of any sort, precious metals of any sort, revenue from all lines and rents, military hardware, software, and data for any installation, equipment, all military officers, all mother bonds and proceeds of any kind, enlisted and contract personnel, all assist of governmental departments, divisions, subdivisions, agencies, and successors and assigns, including but not limited to hardware, appurtenances, furniture, licenses, hereditaments, appliances, fixtures, help me there, accoutrements, paraphernalia, software, data, and covered, overt, classified, unclassified, secret, public, intellectual property. These funds and assets are to be surrendered to the Republic for the United States of America immediately and are further ordered to cease and desist the use in all forms of credit of the people. All public leases, treaties, contracts, MOU, that's Memorandum of Understanding, in parentheses, or any agreements of any kind, whether secret, private, or public, including or involving, but not limited to oil, gas, coal, salt, limestone, gypsum, gravel, rock, granite, sand, metals, gemstones, uranium, water, or natural resources of any kind must be renegotiated. Coastal area, estuaries, marshes, marine habitats, and resources of any kind, all types, any and all assets purchased in full or in part, directly or indirectly, with public monies or credit. And turn the floor over to the next reader.
Thank you, David. Representative Binder, would you like to pick up and finish up our reading?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And we the people do hereby claim, accept, adopt, and assert jurisdiction and dominion over all the territorial and jurisdictional borders of the Republic for the United States of America, including all areas between the southern borders of Canada to the north and the northern border of Mexico to the south, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Pacific Ocean to the west, and 200 miles out to sea on all coasts, excluding territorial rights of other sovereign nations. Alaska and Hawaii have also requested and have been accepted to be included as equal, free, and independent states in union republics, in parentheses. This will exclude some territories such as the District of Columbia as defined specifically in the portion of Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, with respect to the section which states, quote, over such district, parentheses, not exceeding 10 miles square, in parentheses, as may, by secession of particular states and acceptance of Congress becoming a seat of the government of the United States, in parentheses, and some islands upon which foreign countries may have claims and or titles. These claims and or titles may be disputed at some future time. Proper lawful titles will be honored, but the Republic for the United States of America reserves the right to negotiate for a return of those holdings back to the possession of the Republic by honorable means of settlement with the holders. The Republic reserves the right to renegotiate any and all treaties made between the United States, all caps, municipal corporation, and any of its officials and foreign nations, entities, and powers that have any effect on property rights of the people of this republic on all public, local, and private lands. Treaties affecting private land ownership may be negotiated on behalf of and only at the request of the people of the Republic for the United States of America. And we, the people, duly bound by treaty obligations, do hereby order and every court agency, subsidiary agent, contractor, or representative et al. Of the United States, all capital municipal corporation, to deliver lawful remedy and resolution immediately on demand as proclaimed, stated, and ordered hereon to the people through the Republic for the United States of America, elected and or appointed officials in order to facilitate peace between the people on the land within the Republic for the United States territorial and extraterritorial boundaries, and the corporate United States, all caps, territorial and extraterritorial boundaries, i.e. the District of Columbia, until the reintegration process is completed. And we, the people, reserve the right to revise, amend, and extend all claims upon subsequent discovery. And we, the people, hereby serve notice upon the world that we have re-inhabited the de jure Republican form of government of the United States of America, and we treat and being injured parties in interest, we proclaim conditions of forgiveness as follows, except regarding those who are deemed to have irreconcilable differences or are deemed to be a potential threat to the Republic or the people. Let unmerited forgiveness begin for those who have committed crimes against local peoples. Let them be forgiven. Let them go forth and sin no more. Let all principals and actors of the United States, all caps, municipal corporation, and all subsidiaries thereof, et al., who have committed crimes and other injustices against local peoples, have safe harbor and sin no more. Let us all live in peace. However, any plan, action, public speech, writing, or communication by said principals or actors against we the people or our republic shall be a violation of these terms and shall be remedied by law. And we the people solicit the support of the United States military and others as ordered to bring about peaceful reintegration and remedy for we the people and security for our republic. And then we're on to the definitions.
That's a good place to stop.
Okay, sir.
That's a good place to stop for tonight. Thank you, Mark. You know,
you're welcome.
I don't see how any freedom-loving American could have any qualm with what we've covered this week and for last week. And it's all been done for you and for our future generations. Because liberty and the flame of liberty is passed from one generation to the next. And along the way, we didn't get taught our lawful, truthful history. And the truth has been kept from us in a subversive way to further the agenda of people who are less than honest. So thank you, everyone, for allowing us to participate this evening. Gator, you requested the floor. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I have a lot on my mind, but it would probably take, I don't know, all week to get it off my mind, but I'm going to hone in on a few things. First off, my brothers and sisters with our republic, we need to understand something. We have a percentage of America that does not believe in God, and they surely don't believe in the Constitution. All right. How is this? It's because of leaders. We have a government right now that doesn't believe in the Constitution. They're doing nothing but ripping up the Constitution. They don't believe in the forefathers. We see the proof in the pudding now. It's happening right before our eyes, and we're in the fight. We have elections coming, gentlemen, ladies. Our midterms are very, very important. We know there's going to be voter fraud. We do know that. However, if there's any time right now in our history where we need to take back our Congress, Senate, is now. It's now. Because if we don't, we're done. We'll never regain power. It's interesting how our government still functions like with the Constitution and everything else, but yet they violate the Constitution each and every day, committing treason against the American people. Now, there's two things I want to bring up to everybody tonight before we get out of here. Today, I'm working with a great co-worker, and we were discussing a lot of things, what's happening in our country. He's fearing for his children. He's fearing for his life because he got that vaccine and everything else. And he and I talk like brothers, so forth. But here's a great, great statement that he said to me, brothers and sisters, was this. Very simple. He goes, Dave, or Gator, would you send $1,000 to me in the mail, in an envelope, with a post office? I'm like, no. He goes, why wouldn't you do that? Well, because I don't trust the post office, man. I mean, hey, you're going to get ripped off or something's going to happen. He goes, exactly my point. And he goes, Gator, then why in the hell are Americans sending their votes through the mail? How can you trust the post office? Look what happened in 2020. I don't think there's any American here in the United States, whether it's Republican, Democrat, whatever the heck it is, that's going to put cash in an envelope, send it to themselves, or send it to a friend, right? Most people don't even want to send a check in the mail these days. Then why in the hell are people sending their votes through the mail? Now, we know why. Well, it's just a thing to ponder, right? Oh, yeah, I know we had the COVID. We had all this, all deliberately done, by the way, to keep people home. The fourth step, we can't go outside. We got to vote by mail. And, you know, so many great others warned the American people about this. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it again because they haven't had enough time. But it's going to go on. We've got great, great warriors that are running for Congress, Senate, governorship, you name it. We must get new blood in our government, folks. New York right now. I mean, I don't have to tell you. I mean, totally taken over by socialists. I've been getting involved here locally, everybody, the best I can, you know. And here's another thing. When I say, you know, I got two things, not good and bad. No, it's bad and worse. Here's a major story that we're hearing, and I'm telling you, right here tonight. If this happens, we are doomed. we are totally doomed. And it's not nuclear bombs. It's not Putin. It's not that, no. A diesel shortage. And I've been hearing this on mainstream, Tucker, everything else, all over the place. Okay, scare tactics. I understand that's what they do. Fear is their biggest weapon. However, I want everybody to think. Sit back and just think about that. Because if there's a diesel shortage, it will literally cripple this country. Everything that we depend on, you won't get it. From food, buses, to transportation, to police, to fire departments, to everything that we rely on will shut down. And we're going into winter, everybody. Is this their last plan? Is this their last attack? Maybe so.
No, that's all part of the art of war, Gator.
I do know that, sir. How do you cripple a country without destroying the country, because it's worth a lot of money?
So they get rid of the population.
Exactly, everybody.
That's what they're doing.
This is what we've been here for, and this is what they've been doing. And a couple of these things, I said to myself, just common sense. Okay, is that their last plan? Because they are desperate. And if they do
the one thing that we can all agree on is that if the people were in charge of this thing, it wouldn't look like this. We wouldn't have a diesel shortage, And so the whole conversation then is, how do we get all this back and get control of that? And that's why we are starting to read our Declaration of Independence and sovereign rights and educate the people so that they can have lawful understanding of where we're at and how we're going to get out of this mess. And until people get that in their head and figure out who they are, then we're going to walk around in confusion, just like you described. And sure is glad to have you with us again tonight.
It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. First off, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. But right now, it's already affecting this population. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it right here, and I live in a wealthy town, okay? I got a pretty good job, but we're feeling it here with my family, okay?
You ain't feeling nothing
the
yet.
Prices of food, everything else, utilities. Oh, yeah, all of a sudden, bam, up big time, Cat.
Yeah.
And
we've been telling everybody to prepare. Get prepared. We've been saying that for years.
You were telling everybody last year or 6 months ago to start preparing. And now people are starting to feel it, especially in the socialist states, as we all know. But, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned right now, yes, we need to save our country. We need to get leaders back in power. However, if this enemy is allowed to do what they want to do, they will literally cripple this country. And it's
really simple. They'll do as much as we allow them to do. And all we got to do is draw a line in the sand and say no more. You're not in control anymore.
We've had enough.
And
I do believe that the American people are rising up bigger and better than ever before. However, a lot of folks got to go to work. They got to take care of their kids. They got to do what they have to do. And
this is something you can do. This is something you can do by just simply getting on the internet. Governor Henning, why don't you tell us how they can get involved?
There we go.
Well, thank you, Gator. Thank you, Governor Carpenter, and I want to thank Jen and David and Mark for the reading this night. That proclamation of claim of interest that was served on the United States Joint Chiefs of Staff, the International Court of Justice, and the UPU, the Universal Postal Union, and also the UN, the United Nations. So these documents, we're going to be reading another document coming up. It's called the Declaration of Sovereign Intent next week, I believe. But America, you have taken a pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you've taken that pledge, you should stand up as a free American and stand by your pledge to the republic that our founding fathers left for us to protect. But if you go to republicforunitedstatesamerica.org, go there. You can read that pledge. There's many tabs there that you can get involved. You can listen to President Geiger share the State of the Union of our republic. Go to the Interim Records tab. You can go there and read the Declaration of Sovereign Intent and also the Proclamation of Claim of Interest, which we've read for all Americans and for the world here for the last 2 weeks. There's also the Divine Providence tab. Go there and educate yourself. The Republic News Network tab. You can go there and listen to all kinds of archived radio shows and our radio shows that we've been doing for over a decade here. There's public notice releases there. There's so many things there at the Republic for United States of America tab that should give you all the answers. You know, it's just like the Holy Bible. You pick up that Holy Bible, and my grandfather was a minister, and he always told me, if you have a concern or an issue, pick up the Bible and start reading, because you'll find the answer that you need in the Holy Bible. And our founding fathers used that biblical law form from that Bible to write our Constitution here in America, which is unchangeable. It's a living word of our Father God, the Bible. And they've written the Declaration of the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence. You know, Dave Hertler was reading this evening, and him and his wife, Jean, have written 2 books. The first one was Re-Inhabited Republic for United States of America, Volume 1, America's Truthful History. You can order that book at reinhabitedrepublic.com. Also, they've written another book. It's Re-Inhabited Republic for United States of America, Volume 2, The Story of the Re-Inhabitation. Again, that book can be ordered at reinhabitedrepublic.com or at Barnes & Noble or Amazon.com. And you order those books and you're donating to your republic. Also, there's one more book that was written by Gene Hertler. It's James Timothy Turner, an American president and a political prisoner. And it's a legal brief, an appeal to the courts of heaven. You can order that book at inhabited.com also. America, you know, it's time. You know, we've run out of time here. I know we need to get out and vote, but that still is in the corporate system. So parallel will run together. The republic is here. The Supreme Court ruled some years ago that there is 2 governments running parallel here in America. One within the confines of the Constitution, that's your American republic, and one is running outside of the confines of the Constitution.
Isn't that interesting?
And that's your corporate.
Isn't that interesting, Mr. Henning? Isn't that interesting how you said that that most people don't know that? And yet we debate whether or not the United States is a corporation, or we're debating whether or not the republic is legitimate. Like every people are saying, well, what's the republic? Who are you guys? And yet you just stated something. It's well known. The Supreme Court has ruled. There's case law on it that there are 2 existing governments running an operation right now, running parallel together in this country right now. It's a case. It's right there. You can even get it on your YouTube, you know. So and everyone believes whatever's on YouTube. So it's there. So this is the truth. So what we're telling you is the truth. The de jure republic form of government that was the original founders' intent, and what was intended, and what we started out as, is what we are bringing you and what we have re-inhabited here, okay? It has been re-inhabited. We're not going to go all over the history and how it happened all over again, who we talked to in the military. It's none of your business because you weren't there, and most of you have been alive. You weren't there. You weren't taken. If you didn't hear about us back then, shame on you, because it was all over the corporate news media for a while there when all the 50 governors were served with their letters. And so I don't know where you could have been, how you missed that one, but what it is we don't remember anything. None of us have great long-term memories, or some of us have bad short-term. I mean, we forget. How many of us can remember 20 years ago, or remember, back-to-back days and times? We have trouble with doing that because we're spun around so much with these messages that we're being pounded. It's an information war, and that war, they won, and they're winning continuously, and we have to turn that around. And Internet radio, podcasting, alternative media is our only hope. And that's why we started doing this, bringing the Republic on here every Tuesday so that people can interact with the Republic and their representatives. And people say, well, you're just dressing up. You're just dressed up. Nobody's taking you seriously. We don't care what you think. How's that sound? We don't care. If you don't want it, then fine. We'll end up like Ukraine, pretty soon, or you'll get your new world order, or they'll kill you off. They'll keep spraying you, bug spraying you, and you will, or it leads you into World War III or whatever. They'll just keep plunging you down the rabbit hole of darkness. So if that's what you want, people, fine, have at it. You know, no, I mean, not one of us can't change the world, but we're here doing the right thing, and we know consciously, spiritually, it's the right thing what we're doing. I mean, we're not, how could you argue, like the governor said in the beginning, with the document that we've been reading here? It covers all bases, everything. It covers everything that what we're concerned about and what's constitutional. And really what the founders' vision was, and really what history says. The Jay Treaty, Northwest Ordinance, everything. It's our history. So I just don't know what else to say for the people out there. I understand people don't, they want to ask questions and everything. That's fine. But we can't give a history lesson every single week. Let's talk about the issues at hand. How are we going to move forward? How are we going to continue progressing to move the republic forward and to educate the people out there and turn this ship around? Or even maybe get the ship hauled up from the bottom of the ocean, because right now it's sunk. I don't know. Whatever scenario or catchphrase you want to use, that'll catch your minds out there, get you moving on everything, and get you out there being proactive and to fight, and I mean fight lawfully.
Well, Joseph, all those people that want all the footnotes, that want all the details and all the blow-by-blows, for $50 or $60, you can buy the Re-Inhabited books 1 and 2, and get all the documentation. And it's even been reviewed by top authorities and given acclamations for its foundational research and original content. And they are a real work of art that the Hurtlers have put together.
They really are. They're good history books. And we do have some callers here that want to interact. And I mind you, though, if we do take callers, we're not going to have showboating on here. It's not about, we're not here to, to personalities, explore personalities, because people get on the internet, and then there's other people that are nervous and they don't want to call in because of that, and we lose out on a lot of good information sometimes and a lot of good interaction, because a lot of good people out there do listen to this podcast and have a lot to share, and they, sometimes they get, shook off, or they don't want to call into some of our shows or even other shows out there on the internet because of the internet personalities that are out there and the criticism that's some people like to throw down at others, So, what did we have some callers here on the line here that put their hand up? I'm not sure. Did we? I think we had a few and they hung up maybe. So I don't know. Anybody here who wants to interact? I know we got some hands. We already got phone lines open. Anybody press number 1 or the phone number out there for people listening via the internet? New callers is 657-383-0616. The Republic's going to stick around probably for about, I don't know how long everyone's going to stick around, but some people have to leave early tonight. They're only going to stick around probably for a few more minutes. So if anyone has any questions, or if anyone wants to talk about what they're doing, ideas, and what they're doing constitutionally, and how they're going out there and changing people's minds, and the trendsetters out there that are really turning this country into a crap hole, by all means. Well, it's always good to hear people out there that are spreading a positive message. But we are your lawful de jure form of government here, and lawfully, law books. Just check the law, and by all means, we're doing everything peacefully. There is no type of violence here whatsoever. Anyone who wants to condone violence, you're not welcome here, and we don't condone violence anyway, and we don't condone breaking the law either. So pay your taxes and do what you're supposed to do and obey all the laws. If you want to challenge things, well, that's why they got their courts. You want to think you're going to win, then take it to their courts. Until we get to 30,000 in each state where we can turn this thing around lawfully, the world is waiting. The world is watching. And, people have to understand that the world watches what we do over here. And I've spoken to many people over the years. I remember speaking to a guy in Siberia, and he watches what we do over here in America. So it's up to us. It's up to us to get involved with each other, and speak up. Anybody that has to leave here, if you got some closing thoughts, you want to go ahead and say them. You can. Anybody else who wants to call in? Again, go ahead.
Hey, Joe,
Gator.
it's great to hear you tonight here for the People Radio. And what I'll say before I get out of here is this. The world is watching, everybody. Just like when we go to work, we do our jobs, this and that, there's eyes everywhere. Well, think about the world as well, and they're watching. They're watching the destruction of America. You know, we can't let this happen because it will affect the entire world. We're already seeing it already. The rest of the world's going in chaos. Why? Because America is falling. And America is falling because there's no justice being served for those that have violated the Constitution and have committed treason against the American people. Okay, this goes for politicians, CEOs of companies, you name it. There's a big, long list. And hopefully soon enough, with the prayer of God to help us all, that those that have done this will meet justice. I mean, we wonder why everything's going to crapshoot, you know, because all these leaders and so forth.
You're right. And Gator, you said for the people. You said for the people radio. Just real quick, let people know that I guess you're broadcasting coinciding with my podcast.
Yes,
and then real quick for your listeners out there, I may want to just look. I'm battling these people out here. That's de facto. I'm going to tell you right now. There is most likely probably a warrant for my arrest right now in my county because this is what the de facto does. Is they put your court date for a certain day and they switch it on you, and then they say, oh, you didn't show up, so I got a failure to appear, I think, in their court. I'm not going to appear in their court. I'm not going to enter into their court. Listen, I've done nothing wrong. I have hurt nobody. I've injured nobody. I've broken no laws.
They're going after patriots like you and others that that are big. You have a big audience and so forth. I'm hearing Lisa Haven is under attack. I'm a small cat, but I relate to the people and friends and folks that I know. We also use music and everything else to enlighten people. We get spiritual. We do it all. But, yes, we get political, and we're in the fight.
They don't want me running again. They don't want me running again. I came in second place in the primary here, and that was my platform, Restore the Republic. Those were my signs I put all over the county, restoring our republic. That would vote Joe Gibson, They don't want me.
Because people are afraid, Joe. That's what's happening. People get afraid, and that's why I think sometimes callers are afraid because, God forbid someone else is listening, Listen, you and I could be talking about things, Joe. Tomorrow I'll turn my phone on, and then, bam, it's coming on YouTube or whatever it is with something being sold or whatever. They're listening to us all, folks. And if we had, 50 million people listening, I guarantee you, Black Hat's going to be knocking on your doors, whether it's mine, Joe's, or our Republic. And
they already have. They already have.
But you know what? The great patriot folks here in America need to be a threat because if we don't stand up and fight and utilize every damn tool we have here, social media, everything else, they're gonna destroy us. I mean, hopefully Twitter is taking over. That'll be a help, but we have other situations here too.
Well, they're deplatforming Twitter. Twitter is going to cost you $20 to be on Twitter.
Yeah, you know what? I got rid of Twitter a long time ago. It's nothing but headaches.
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
Listen to what I do. It's simple. Everybody, I'm involved with our Republic, everything else, man, and we know we're getting the word out, not just here in America, but folks all around the world. Like Joe was saying, we have the same. We got folks all around the world concerned. Because they know if America falls, the world falls. And God help us all because you got cats out there playing with the buttons, threatening with the nukes, and everything else. They don't even need these, by the way, everybody. They don't need nukes. They already took over our country a long time ago just with the virus.
Yeah.
I mean, they can pull the plug on anything. Diesel shortage, I'm telling you.
Well, look at the prices. Look at the prices out there. It's insane.
$6 here in New York, so that affects your trucking, all your industries. So that's why we're seeing all our food go up big time. But Man, Joe, I'm hearing 25 days, maybe 30 days supply. Whoa. And we're going into winter here in New York. I'm telling you, Joe, something like this hit this country.
Well, they've already talked about the digital currency. Dave Ramsey, as you know, Dave Ramsey in the mainstream. Dave Ramsey, he does that show there, trying to get people, pay off their credit card, pay off the criminal bankers. He talked about it the past couple of days about the digital currency and the switchover. And really, we're already a digital currency. So what are you worried about? When you write out a check, Yeah, I'm like, listen to this guy.
Joe, here's an example. Friends of mine went to the Jets game, right? No cash. You can't get anything with cash.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, listen, brothers and sisters, no cash. And that's in MetLife Stadium, one of the biggest stadiums in New Jersey, actually. But, yeah, no cash. And these are hints of what they're pushing, everybody. And just think about it. If it all goes digital, no more cash, now they got total control over us.
Yeah.
My God.
They got control over your body. They got control of your money.
It doesn't matter if you and I had $1 million in a safe in our basement. That cash ain't gonna worth crap because it's all digital. So we are under a major threat here, folks.
Yeah. And what's all your coins? What's all your coins going to be worth? Your silver and gold. What are you going to do? Go dump bars of gold on the counter to buy a car? Come on. Yeah, right. Think realistically here.
Food might end up being, or water might be worth more than gold. Who knows?
Yeah.
But Joe listens to a lot of folks out there too, like myself. I don't believe everything I hear, but I just use common sense. Like, okay, how the hell do you really cripple a country without trying to overtake it in war? Bombs, all this other stuff. Well, take away those.
Well, what is their goal, though? Let's ask that question here. We're having a normal conversation here. We're having a normal conversation.
It's this whole New World Order thing.
Yeah, but what's their end goal, though? If they already have control, then why push? We just said let me play devil's advocate. They already have control pretty much over everything that we do. They can single us out any way we want. So why? What more do they want? What more do they want?
I don't know, Joe. Is it just pure evil, Joe? To destroy
I think it is. I think it is.
They've got everything they want. That's why they want to depopulate the world. It's all written down. They've made public statements and lectures about it.
Even the Bible has predicted so much as well. In our future, it is good versus evil. Is this a plan?
Well, let me ask Jim. Well, let's ask Jim that. He's out there in the country. Let me ask Jim. Let him get in here in the conversation. Jim, you're out there in the country in Colorado. How can they control you out there? You're in the country. Can they really control you if they wanted to?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Everybody's so dependent upon just-in-time delivery, and so the store shelves aren't stocked for any type of inconsistency. So, it's all brought in just in time. If you want a part, your vehicle breaks down, we'll have it here tomorrow. Well, if no diesel, tomorrow never comes. Food doesn't get planted unless you plant it in your garden. Not everybody has everything it takes, the water, and can combat the deer and the chipmunks and the squirrels and raccoons and, everybody's out for their lunch, Hey,
and everybody's out for themselves, too.
Stuff.
Yeah, and I see some callers here on the line here. Yeah, I see some callers here. But go ahead, Jim. Continue, please.
This is what floors me, is that united we stand, divided we fall, because it is a government formed by the people. And if we can't stand on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Holy Scriptures, then the people don't have a rock. And good luck with that one. And, it just surprises me that everybody's going to be out there on the sand than getting together on the rock where we all can have a voice and mean something. The people are convinced, but it's not Obama's day where they were showing up in hordes and coming and knocking on your door and arresting people. It's gone beyond that. And this is our hill, folks. And either we get and stand on the one thing we can agree on, and that's the laws of nature, and nature's God. And a representative government that we help elect. And if we can't agree on that, then get out the weapons, and that's where it's headed.
There we
so
go.
You got a
choice.
choice.
With God. We all have it with
what
God.
choice you going to make, America?
God, right, Joe?
It's really simple.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I got some Gator. I got another person who wants to jump here. Actually, a couple.
I just want to make one final statement, Joe.
All right.
Final statement. History will repeat. And if we think about civilizations in our past, they destroyed themselves, right? We are heading on that same track. And we got to stop.
Well, it's devolution. Yeah.
Yes, Joe. Joe, you know what I'm getting at. Thanks, man.
You stay on the line, Gator. You don't have to hang up. You can stay on the line for as long as you want. I just want to bring in another voice to the conversation.
Listen, man, it's been a while. My ears are open tonight.
That's good. Well, you bring some of your listeners on here. Give them a shout out and tell them to call in. But let's see who 305 is. I had a private caller. That caller dropped. I got 305 here. We'll see who this is. And I have a couple people. You guys got to be patient, man. It's why, I mean, I know you don't have time. But go ahead, 305.
That's Mike.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, it's Mike with RighteousArmy.org. How you doing?
All right.
Our great brother Mike,
man.
Hey, it's good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, all of you guys. Good to hear from you guys. I love this show with Joseph and all you guys coming in. So, yeah, I was just listening to the comment there about not being able to use cash right at the ball game. I just watched a video the other day of a fella in Delaware who did a video, all distraught out in front of Walmart. And he said the same thing. He said, this is ridiculous. I just went into Walmart, been coming in here all my life. I went in there and they said I can't use cash. And they had one little teeny dinky sign on only one of the doors. And, he was showing it on his camera and he was all pissed off and saying how people were all in there, didn't even know it because they don't tell you until you get to the counter. But the bottom line on that, fellas, and I'm sure you all know this, I'm preaching to the choir. Every time I call in, I feel like you guys are preaching to the choir and I'm preaching to the choir when I start talking. It's compliance. Why are people letting it happen? Because going to the New World Order thing, again, that's what I always hop on. It's a New World Order, one world government agenda. It's about power and control over all humanity. They're going to. We know that they're merging technologies with the vaccines so they can use the vaccines in the future to tag, track, monitor. It's all commercialism for them. It's all money, and it's all population control, right? So for them, the cashless society is the ultimate. I mean, it's the Revelation biblical verse, right? You will not be able to buy or sell, right? That's what they want is total control. When they have that, they have total control over your life in every way imaginable. And really, the only way they can do that is by compliance, just like with the damn face diapers and the jabs. It's the same thing. Look how many people complied with that. I didn't, praise God Almighty, and many others didn't too, and a lot that did are now sorry for it. But it's compliance. Why are people not raising hell and saying, BS, I ain't going to your stupid game then if you ain't taking my cash. BS, I ain't going to your Walmart if you ain't taking cash. I'm out of here, right? Shut them down. Say, we ain't going cashless society. If people don't stand up for that reality as a unit, that's exactly what's going to happen. And then everybody's going to be screwed.
Well, that's why we need the 30,000, Mike.
Right on the point on that, too. This is another way for them to attack the population. Is this cashless society thing? And I didn't hear anything about Walmart, but that right there, what Mike's saying, if a Walmart's doing this, man, we all.
Jim's been on this show where a couple of years ago when I would call people live, I would call places and ask them if they accepted Federal Reserve notes, and they didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I would call a business. I called Walmart even. I said, ma'am, I'm coming in there shopping. I'm just wondering, do you accept Federal Reserve notes? No. What? No, we don't. I don't know what that is. Literally. I mean, I don't know if Jim remembers that or not, but I did that quite a bit a couple of years ago. I called McDonald's. I'm coming in. I'm going through the drive-thru. Do you guys accept Federal Reserve notes? No, we don't.
It's just education. It's society. It's Mike is right about things. We're all right about things. We're all in the fight, and we're all preaching. To help try and save as many people as we can. I just do fear. I'm sure you all do too. They're not going to stop unless they're destroyed. There's an old saying is, destroy thy enemy or they will destroy you. I think we've all seen enough over the years of what's coming, what could happen, and is it time to stand up and fight? Is it time Or
do they psyop us with another type of system? Because I know Mike brought this up a couple times about the Bible. Is that a psyop? Control. Have they hid the truth from us? Have they hidden the truth from us? Because if you seek the truth, you can find all different types of versions and words and belief patterns out there that, so have they really blinded us? Because we know the world is completely, purely evil. And God's not going to bless a football team to win, folks, okay? Right. So those of you that pray for the Super Bowl or this team to win, God didn't bless your team to win, okay? I don't think God has anything to do with a football team. But I've had pastors argue with me. Well, oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, amen. I tripped and fell today. Oh, bless me, God. God had nothing to do with that. Come on. I just don't buy that,
I think a lot we see is all distractions for what's really happening. They get the people away from thinking about things, with your games and this and that and everything else. But when I got friends of mine, they brought their kids and everything else to a game, and they're like, yeah, I couldn't use cash. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, I couldn't use cash. I used my card. Well, what's that tell you, folks? Now, I can understand maybe on the flip side, they want to prevent any employee theft or robbery or whatever it might be. But, man, I never heard of this. And now it's hitting out there, and it's like experiment, right? They're coming in, under the carpet, everybody, and it's going to spread like another damn disease.
Well, I've opened up my platform, Gator, to others, too, out there, especially in the Republic, to do their own shows, to talk about other topics. Everyone knows I have quite a large platform. I've got over about 20,000 average listeners that download the show, not live, but that listen throughout a monthly period, that download my show. About 20, I think it's up to 22,000 now. 22,000 people, so that on the various platforms. So you guys, anyone's welcome to. I have 6 other days that my slots are open. I've done a show on everything pretty much over the years. But other people out there have things they want to talk about. The platform's there for you guys to use to talk about the things that you want. Try it out. You never know. This is radio. Call people live. During election time a couple of years ago, I was calling the politicians up during the day. I would program a show at 9 o'clock in the morning and start calling these people, live on the radio, and putting them on the spot, and recording it.
That's it. You got to put them on the spot. Yep.
Yeah. It makes for interesting podcasting.
I do the same thing here in my show and everything else. I'm very involved with music and everything else, and artists and everything else, but I got a couple really cool shows. I got Tracy Nazarenes out of Colorado with Valor for Veterans. Great show every Thursday night, and we're bringing on the topics, man.
I'd like to get back on here, Jim? I'd like to get Mr. Butler back on here, Wade Butler. I'd like to get him back on here eventually.
Right,
he was. I did a show with him last year. I was listening to it actually. I go back and listen to some of my old shows once in a while, just as looks, things I missed. That was a great podcast, Jim.
There's some great shows.
Yeah, Wade's a very busy man, so he's. I've reached out a couple of times, and he just hasn't been able to fit it in his schedule.
Can you imagine our shows were on mainstream radio? Going on through the night, right? I listen to radio every night when I go to bed. Just imagine if all of our shows were airing throughout the night to the people. Wow.
I looked into AM radio. You'll never get an FM station. You'll never get it. If I had an FM transmitter years ago, and I was told if you set that thing up, you're going to get one warning, and then the second time they're going to come smash your door in and take it. You could probably get an AM license.
I still listen to AM radio at night. These are the great talk shows.
Well, I've got a church down here. I've got a church that has a license until 2028 AM, and they don't do anything with it, and they can broadcast all over the South here, and it's like, man, I feel like getting in there. They let me do commercials on there for my campaign when I was running for public office. They let me run some commercials, but they only play gospel music like for 4 or 5 hours a day, and after that, it's dead air. And I'm like, what a waste. They've got a studio, awesome studio. You can play music. It's just like a regular radio disc jockey place. I'm like, what a waste of, to reach the people. What a shame.
And you know what? As far as music, There's nothing wrong with gospel music. There's nothing wrong with rock and roll. Whatever it is, music is music. Music hits the heart and soul. So you know what?
Well, they say, well, you'll have some Christians that'll argue with you on that, Gator. They'll say, no, the drum came from Cain, you know, and you know, beating the drum. So they'll say, no, that's, you know, it's
evil
you know.
So it's music in general. You know what I'm getting at, but it creates good power. I personally love, you know, spiritual and patriotic music. It's probably my favorite. But we do our shows to help folks, try to enlighten them and get them involved in what we're doing here.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. I really wanted to get that going. A station where I can have something like that going. That would have been really awesome. But the licensing is just impossible to get.
Listen, even what Joe's doing, what I'm doing, and other cats are doing, it's expensive. It really is with licensing, everything else. Joe will tell you, man, it's not cheap. Especially I'm playing music and everything else. There's royalty rights. There's all types of stuff, man.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot of money. But thank God we're able to do what we're doing and reaching out to people.
Well, look, I'm on Amazon, everybody. I'm on Apple. You know how long it took me to get on Apple Podcasts? And I still can't figure it out how to get royalties off of it. But I'm on Apple Podcasts. You know, I mean, would you believe that? They haven't censored me. I've got 600 shows on Apple Podcasts. I can't believe it, you know? Go to Amazon. I'm on Amazon, too. Amazon Music. I'm there. Amazon Music, my show, is on there. iHeartRadio, but nobody knows about it.
Well, you know what it is? It's called promotion, Joe. You know that.
Yeah,
and,
I know.
We've got a Gator here that loves to promote my great friends and brothers and sisters out there doing great things. So, hey, man, I'm more than happy to spread it out there. I'm not sending you the bill either because you're a dear friend and brother, and you're in this fight. I don't do this, folks, for money. I do this giving back to our country. So,
but we got to make a living, Gator. But you got to make a living and pay for expenses,
I'll make a living, with my job and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with us. Maybe picking on some great sponsors, getting behind us, and help pay.
Hopefully, all you guys are still praying for Mike to win the Powerball because he's probably the only guy that's actually going to fund everybody.
Well, if you win that Powerball, you promised us money, though, Mike. So of course we're praying for you.
That's what I'm saying.
If I win this Powerball, you guys better get ready to saddle up because I already got ideas and great plans for the future.
But Mike, you said, I want to ask Mike something there, Gator. Hang on a second. Mike, you said when you did the RighteousArmy.org, when you first came out, you did something to get a lot of people to sponsor you and donate to you. What did you did something. Don't you remember what you did to get on there on the Google site?
Actually, that goes back to the initial thing we were talking about. The vast majority of supporters that I got were actually from my efforts at thebigvirushoax.com because, as people were being, locked down and required, so they thought required, they weren't, but they fell for it, to cover their, vital airways with a face diaper. And, that led into the, the jabs and not being able to go into places of public accommodation. I mean, I was on top of that. I made all kinds of videos being very respectful of police officers, wearing my Trump hat, saluting them, showing them the laws and often prevailing, where the officers would agree with me because I brought the law with me and I'd go in and finish my business. Whereas everybody else was out there, they didn't know what to do or how to go about it, and they were fighting with cops and getting arrested and everything else. So I did have a very, very good, articulate, scientific, I got it down to a science on how to deal with the whole thing. I worked on that 24/7, for 2 years, but the first few months, my buddy Brian and I, we really dived into that because you know me. We're all like this, but I'm, extremely passionate about, being anti-corruption and anti-control and violating my rights. I'm just, that pushes me over the edge. I'm not going to stand for it, But I know also that I have to go about it smartly and articulately. So I did have, quite a few substantial supporters. And then as everything started letting up, right, which a lot of people said they started letting up because of the elections since they got the Democrats in office, so to speak. Again, I don't believe in the Democrat-Republican thing, but since most people do, they use the election cycles to manipulate and control people. So, they all started falling by the wayside. At one point I had 23 subscribers on Subscribestar. Now it's down to like 10.
Wow.
It was, but even with 23, it was just pushing about $400 a month, you know. And then I had 5 on PayPal monthly that was about $60 a month, because like one was 20 and a few were 5 and maybe one for 30 or something. It was like $60 a month. So, you know, it was just over $400 a month at the peak of my efforts. And some
and how does that work when you say $400 a month? How does that work? Well, I don't understand. How does the income work? I don't get it.
First of all, for everybody, for all of you guys that are not familiar with this, it is true that all of us are doing this out of positive motivation. But Joe's point is valid. We all deserve to be rewarded from people who appreciate what we're doing, and we will be rewarded from people who appreciate what we're doing. But you have to make that available. And I will tell you, aside from, you know, supposedly PayPal's going down the tubes now, where they're starting to become a censor thing and penalizing people. But there is Gab.com. They started their own, you know, things, you know, merchant accounts similar to PayPal. There's others. But Subscribestar, for those of you that don't know it, get one. I mean, it's an account where you go in and you upload. And let me tell you guys, I mean, on the one hand, potentially exciting, and maybe it's all a psyop too, but I saw one guy on there, he was just like, you know, coffee with Joe in the morning kind of thing, with a cartoon picture of himself, and he has his subscribers, because you can hide or let people see the subscriber account, and he was making over $5,000 a month with subscribers, because it showed like, you know, 250 people at $1 a month, and like 100 people at $5 a month, and like 10 people at $100 a month, and 20 people at $25 a month. Yeah, so when I saw that, I was like, you know, again, distraught that I didn't get the same kind of support, considering I was doing something much more substantial. But, yeah, Subscribestar. I mean, everybody on this, you know, phone call right now, and everybody that's listening to it that's, you know, putting forth an effort to be a keyboard warrior, and you're online and you got a website and you got a blog, should definitely get a Subscribestar account, you know. It's easy to do. You upload your image and your content, and you make your posts, and it's very user friendly. I think it's a great system.
Interesting.
My buddy Brian recently called me and said there's a new one now called Substack. But to me, I went in and created an account, but it's just like, it looks like a blog or something. But really, I think Subscribestar is awesome. It's very user friendly. It's colorful. It's fun. It's user friendly. It's self-explanatory. You know, I mean, click on my website, thebigvirushoax.com or Righteous Army, and you know, you don't have to. You know, you're not forced to be a subscriber, but you can click on it and see what people are doing, what they're seeing when they click on it, and you know, it'll tell you. You know, probably to log in or create an account. Even if you were going to, I guess people that donate have to create an account with them. But you don't have to do that. You can see how it works, you know. You could use that, Joe. Everybody could be using that.
Wow, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I went to your account there. I thought I subscribed. I don't know what it is. I didn't enter any payment information, but I know I've subscribed. You know, as far as to hit subscribe, that's what I do. I don't know what else you got to do. I don't know if you got to pay, or I don't know how that works, but you know.
Yeah, you know, my idea for many years, we're all doing our own thing, right? And a lot of us have all come together. We're still like doing our own thing. The Republic, we've all gotten involved with, right? But yet we haven't formed a giant network.
I know.
Is that possible to do? Absolutely. Because you form a network of all these different shows. My God, you got power, you know, power in numbers between Joe, Mike, myself, the Republic, and others. There's so many great, talented people out there, whether it's talk radio and music as well, man, you know. And it's something maybe in the future we can think about, because if we all could put a little in, we can make it happen more, right? And if you find some big fish that are really interested, man, you know, I mean, I got a few sponsors, you know, but it's not like it's, you know, paying for all this stuff. But I've always said to myself, a lot of these big cats, they get big because they have a network. And yeah, we're not mainstream media, but why can't we form a big network in social media?
Yeah.
Independently. I don't know.
Let me answer that real quick, Joe. Let me answer why we can't. And it pains me to say it, but I've learned from experience through both the BigVirusHoax.com and Righteous Army. It's because the vast majority of people are sheeple. They're sheeple. They're followers. They've been brainwashed and deadened by the enemy with all their vices. You know, their vices: the alcohol, the drugs, the vaping, the smoking, the tattoos, the music, the ball games, the chips, the Cheetos, the beer, the new brand of everything every week. The stupid music that's not even music. They've all been brainwashed and brain dead. I mean, it's sad,
but Mike,
I hate to say it.
The second best thing I think that we can do, brother, the second best thing that we all can do is show support for one another. Promotion. I've always been big on promoting, whether it's an artist, whether it's this, whether it's that, and try and promote it the best I can on social media and everything else, right? So more people might watch, or they might listen, or they might go to the damn show. But with us, we want ears. And if we get ears for half the show, man, we are golden. But that's the second best way to do it, is to promote. And promote our brothers and sisters in this battle. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike, you know, we are promoting you. Okay, Gator's going on. Hey, Mike, I'm promoting the Gator Show. Or vice versa. Hey, Joe Gibson's going on there. Hey, everybody, Joe Gibson's coming on. And we share that on our pages and everything else, man. It goes a lot farther. It's the kind of thing that we need. The Republic needs to get better at that. They need to promote their show on social media every damn Tuesday night and other nights that they're going to do the show.
Well, it's very difficult. They've tried that. They get shadow banned. The Republic's been shadow banned. So
listen, I get shadow banned, Joe. I'm sure it happens to you too, Mike. But if we keep pushing, and then we have friends of ours sharing, that's one way around it a little bit. I've been doing this for a long time too, and I get shadow banned. The minute I put anything political out there, forget about it. But I keep pushing, and I depend on my friends. I send invites through Messenger to the people, whether it's 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, whatever it is. I'll click, and send everybody. And hopefully you get a decent percentage that are going to take the time out and listen. It's not easy for anybody to sit back and listen to a radio show for an hour. 2 hours is really difficult, but an hour to get them 100%. So in mainstream media, they're lucky to get them from 70, 75%. You know, if you're looking at numbers and listenership and this and that. So, and you know what? We're all radio hosts. The people not only listen to what we're talking about, but they get used to your voice. I was taught this a long, long time ago, even when I get into this stuff, is that the people fall in love with your voice. When they hear your voice, man, they want to hear you.
Or they get tired of your voice, one or the other. So,
too, man. But they get used to you. Okay, they want to hear you. And when you're in the fight and the battle about things, they're going to listen to you. I find that here all the time. So
I found podcasting, listening to many different phone calls. When you take phone calls or you call people live on the spot is what is popular. Getting a guest on for 60 minutes, boring, So, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to listen to it,
It just happened to me Saturday night. I was messing around, and I said, you know what? Let me give a couple calls, whatever. Maybe they'll answer, right? And it's a good old friend of mine. He's I guess retired movie star type of guy. He's very well known. He's a great patriot. That's Carmine Cardona. And man, I left him a message. Man, he called back, and I brought him on the show. We had a great discussion. He's a great patriot, by the way, as well. You just never.
All right, Gator, listen, let's do some closing thoughts here. Anybody with closing thoughts first? I'll go. Mike first, you go first. And of course, give us an update on the militia. What's going on with the militia stuff, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah. As far as the militia movement goes, I have made it very clear over the last few weeks. I saw it turning into a social gathering, online feel-good experience. Like, ooh, whoopee! I'm joining a national militia meeting. That means I'm doing something. I saw it go on that route, and that's not the route I intended for it to go. And I've done several videos to try to make that point clear. I've sent it out to everybody several times, so that now as a result nobody comes anymore. But that to me is actually proof that the ones that were coming were just coming for the feel good, because none of them said, man, you're right. I'm going to start getting busy in my community, and that makes sense, and let me get busy. No, actually, only 5 people, including Joseph Gibson here, actually verbalized, yes, I'll be a state coordinator. I'll put forth an effort to organize the counties in my state. In fact, the other fellow in Carolina, Chris Honan, put on a state meeting in North Carolina last night, which I was not able to attend.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I would have attended. Oh, man, I wish I would have known that. I didn't get a notification on that.
Yeah, Mike and Joe, the only reason, Mike, I want you to know something, brother. The only reason with me, on my end, I got stuff going on, and I've got my family, and I got my work. I work for...
You don't have any explanations, brother. I know.
No, you don't got to explain.
Not everybody's able to do that. That's why in the most recent email I sent out, I really fine-tuned it down to... And this goes to everybody who's a patriot, a conservative, a Christian, a Trump supporter. You're either an A, B, or C in this effort. A is somebody who says, yeah, man, I'm more than happy to have my name, phone number, email address, put it on the National Militia Directory so people in my area might contact me. And then a B is, okay, yes, I don't know about my whole state, but I'll put forth an effort to coordinate like-minded people in my county. And then a C is, yeah, man, I'm gung-ho, and I'll do my effort the best I can to get all the counties in my state coordinated. I mean, there's 3 options there. So all of them are good options. Even if you're just an A, you're just showing, faith that, put my name and contact information on the National Militia Directory. That's great.
Yeah, where's your toner at, Mike? Where's your toner at that I mailed?
I haven't received it yet.
Well, I sent it media mail, so... Media mail takes a little bit.
Mike,
I got to save money on postage,
is all in. Like when I'm out and about with the people, folks I work with, or whatever it might be, I'm spreading the word. I'm spreading the word that way.
Yeah, we know that, Gator. We know that. We know you're out there doing your thing, man. You ain't got to reiterate that.
I'm on radio, and I'm rocking and rolling to the heart and soul, too. So I'm a believer. I'm in this for the fight. There's times, I'll be honest, man, there's times it gets overwhelming. It happens to all of us. And you're like, I just got to take a step back a little bit. And then you come back to fight, right? Right, gentlemen? Because you got your family life. You got everything going on in life. But I'm a true fighter. I want you boys to know that, and I'm with you all the way. So,
all right, let Mike finish up his closing thoughts here on that note. Go ahead, and then you'll get your closing. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. So, that's the bottom line is I made it clear that right now the meetings, I wanted to make sure the ship was kind of going off course, and I made it crystal clear. It's not about a feel-good. It's not a social gathering. It's ultimately about getting people to step up to at least, A, get their name on the list and so they're available for others in their community to contact, or B, start organizing their county, or C, start organizing their state. So the only purpose of the National Militia meetings now is ultimately what they are for is just for me to take names and numbers and get people into the ABC category. That's all. So I still start the meetings up. I don't care if nobody shows. That just shows me one more time that nobody gives a shit. But anybody that does show, the only reason they should be showing is to say, hey, yeah, man, read the website, saw your videos, man, I'm an A, or I'm a B, or I'm a C. We'll get them in there, great. Now, after I do that, because that's only the first few minutes of the show, people
hang on, Gator. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Anybody and everybody's still welcome to come on to the Zoom meeting. And I'm not even recording them now because there's no reason. Sometimes I'll turn on the recorder, like I did make aside from the recording we did, Joseph, which was awesome. Joseph shared his life story, man. I mean, the recording we did is probably better than the book that came out for him. I think he did himself a service by just really. I didn't get that uploaded yet.
Did you send that to me, by the way? Did you send that to me?
I didn't get it uploaded yet. And so as soon as I do, I'm going to send you all the links. Yeah.
Please.
Because I think. Yeah. Because I commend you on that. It was from the heart, open, felt, And it was because Joseph was dealing with some hard times that came his way, and all of us, when we face hard times, that's when we're vulnerable and emotional, and we're desperate sometimes, and we're hurting, and it was a good thing, because I think that Joseph agreed to Zoom it, where it was just really just vocal, and it wasn't like a face-to-face. It was just to get the vocal recording, and it was awesome. I think because I think anybody who hears that should have not only know Joseph better, but have 100% more respect for him, because he really laid out his whole history, his experience, and who he is and where he came from and why he's been through what he's been through and why he's where he's at today. So I commend Joseph on that. I'll get that video uploaded this week for sure.
Thanks, Mike.
But yeah,
appreciate
other than that,
man.
Yep, thank you. And as far as, again, the meetings, anybody's welcome to come, but the only reason anybody really should come or needs to come is to say I'm an A, B, or C, and that's on the most recent blog, which is on the States page on the website. But thanks for that. And let me say one last thing. Again, since I've already asked the Creator, Lord God Almighty, and I already have envisioned it, and I'm already manifesting it, and you guys are all praying for me, when I do win the $1 billion Powerball, right? What I'm going to be doing is opening the ultimate, getting all the licenses and everything else, and fighting the system to have an absolute freedom of speech FM broadcast, or maybe it's even going to be like what's his name has to do with the Howard Stern. They use the satellite stuff. Whatever. We're going to get a great program going, and you guys will all be DJing on the same program. You'll just have different time slots. And we're going to get the doctors, Kaufman and Cowan. We're going to get a hospital going, an institute of biology, a lab. All the great minds that are doing the science work and the medicine are going to be working on that. I'm going to support that. And we're going to get the ultimate combination, Facebook /YouTube /Twitter, social media that'll blow doors on anything else that's out there. Those are the three things that I'm going to be putting my money and efforts towards on behalf of the people. So,
hey, Mike, real quick question. I just have a question. Are militia meetings, are they only on Sunday or are they on Saturday?
You didn't just hear what he said, Gator?
Yeah, for starters, and I don't mean to slap you too hard, but put all the information's on the website. So anybody that goes to the website will know. But it is Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So actually Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, but just for the record, Friday is actually an open free-for-all Zoom meeting now. I have a girl that's been coming on. She's 18. She's from Spain, and she's awesome. She's like a truther girl, But, yeah, it's just to talk about anything and everything. There's all kinds of debates going on in the world, right? Flat Earth versus globe Earth, and, Republican, Democrat, and science and pseudoscience, and any topic, man. It's just an open free-for-all on Fridays. And Sunday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, Sunday's been
and God bless you all.
Maybe I'll put it on Friday.
Hang on, Gator. Hold on, Gator. Hold on. Yeah, man. All right. Now, go ahead. I think he was talking over you the whole time, Mike, but I think you went over his voice, though. But go ahead, Gator. Go ahead. Do your closing thoughts. Go ahead.
I was just saying, man. I love Joe. Joe's the best. And Mike as well. Listen, I was just making sure because sometimes I get confused. I'm busy here. And, hey, man, maybe we're coming on Fridays or something. I'll change my schedule, everything else as well, to get involved. Because Sundays are tough for me. So, right now, it is what it is. So, and Joe, hey, man, way to go, brother. It's always a great honor to be on with you. And I think, brothers, we just keep on fighting, man, in what we do. We'll get somewhere with all this. The people are listening. They're listening, man. And we just got to keep pushing the word, man. Just keep getting it out there. And let's not forget, brothers, let's share each other's stuff out there, okay? Just, if you see my post, share it. Joe, I see yours, I'm sharing it. Mike, I see yours, we're sharing it. Share it. And that
well, okay, yeah, let's do that, Gator. Let's do that, like you said. But at the same time, Mike, I appreciate that. Yeah, that one-on-one we did. that was awesome. Actually, that was great what we did there. I can't wait to get that. I was a little wondering. I've been wanting to get it, but I know you're busy. I don't like to ever ask anybody. But I'll tell you what, when that gets up, maybe Mike can put down his website, probably make some money off of that. Man, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like you said, it's better than the book. But I'll do my closing thought. I'm going to play a little bit of 1 minute and 17 seconds of Alex Jones here, and then if you guys want to comment on that, that's fine. But this is one of his funny rants or whatever. But this is the truth, though. This is this is how they got us, man. It's crazy. It just is what it is.
Rhythm, Congress, and military, then you will declare that you're with the Republic now. And don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this, and I should only go get upset about my favorite football team winning or losing. Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen $8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to go up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on? You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day? You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life? You know what it's like, you sons of bitches? I'm tired of your crap. You commit evil, you're part of an evil system, and we're standing up against you. And the Republic is going to defeat you in the end. Some of us won't make it personally through this, but a lot of us are. And in the end, you are going to be brought to justice for all the kids you kidnapped for CPS, all you CPS workers, all you corrupt bureaucrats, all of you that have had your way with innocent children over and over again and who think your evil's invincible. You're not invincible, and God is going to deal with you. And you are cursed to hell.
All right. I gotta say that pretty much sums it up right there.
Hanging out with you guys tonight really made the night for me, and it set me up for a whole new week. And I thank you, brothers. I needed that.
All right, everybody. Mike, I appreciate it. I mean, anything you guys want to hear at the end here as a final thing as I go out? I mean, Mike, you missed the intro, actually. That was a good one, The Madness of a Lost Society. I think you missed that one. Yeah, I'll use that as a closer. Yeah, The Madness of a Lost Society.
You got time for a prayer here?
Yeah, Mr. Biden. Okay, of course.
I'm still here, brother. I'm still here.
Great prayer, man. That's what we
I didn't know Jim is still there or not. Is Jim still on here, too? I don't know if Jim is still here. I don't know. Is Jim still out there? I can't see any numbers on the screen right now. Is Jim, you still out there, Jim?
Yeah,
I don't think. Oh, okay. Jim, you wait before Mr. Binder does the prayer. Before he does the prayer, Jim, closing thoughts to tonight's podcast, Jim?
Like I said at the beginning, everybody's trying to figure out who they are, how they got there. And, there's one simple solution, and you can clear your mind of a lot of clutter. Just accept the Republic as your jurisdiction, and the jurisdiction you want, and promote it to your friends and family. Go on the website, republicfortheunitedstatesofamerica.org, and sign up for emails and donate your services. And, if it's a republic formed by the people, then where are you at? I'll turn it over to you, Representative Binder.
Okay, Mr. Binder.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, when it looks really bad out and you think, the world's going crazy, prayer is about the best thing you can do. Because God's going to answer prayers in this season that you forgot you'd even pray. And He's never late, but He's seldom early. So let's go with Him with prayer. Yahweh, our Heavenly Father, in the name of Yeshua, we seek to glorify Your magnificent name through reverence, worship, prayer, and action. For this republic shall stand once again. We are witnessing firsthand today the fall of our adversaries and the rise of our constitutional rule of God's law, righteous, Bible-revering republic. Praise God. Lord, bring Your glory and bring Your presence to Your republic, and that Your will, Your plan, and Your word is done with divine intervention. Bind our enemies hand and foot, for the time of delay is past. Strengthen us to do all we can and to stand against evil, conniving, deceitful agents of darkness. Let Your piercing light vanquish all darkness in high and low places. Send Your healing light, frequency, and energy to all those sick and suffering ones who are wearied from the intense warfare of this time. Rejuvenate our perspective as we witness things happening that the Old Testament prophets wanted to see for themselves. Put a dome of protection around us, our family, our friends, and our true leaders and military that dark forces cannot penetrate through. Send your angels to encamp round about us to be called into action when needed. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and forever. God save the Republic. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Father.
Amen. Amen. Well, in case anyone missed it, this is what I opened up with tonight: madness of a lost society. So that's pretty much where we're at today. So to wrap up a few minutes
hey,
here.
Joe, I gotta really. I just thought of this, and I just want to share it with you, all of you. God is our coach. He's a great, great coach. He wants us to win. We got to win this Freedom Bowl, brothers. Oh yeah, that's well, if you're in the sports. All right, this Freedom Bowl, man. We got to win this thing. But anyway,
I
brother,
call it
thank you.
I call it the Dumb Bowl, and so not the Super Bowl, the Dumb Bowl. So, but anyway, madness of a lost society. Here we go, because we got Black Friday coming up, so we got to dedicate that to Black Friday. Okay, here we go.
You're watching The Madness of a Lost Society. November 26, 2010. Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
In case you didn't hear, the leaders of China and Russia.
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order, this is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion and economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare? When they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
If this is America, who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic.
There we go. How about that, huh?
Anyway, I want to say thank you to our friends there. Real quick, I'm going to read the prologue. This is from Battle for the Republic, Dance of Swords. So when and how would it start? Everyone knew that the conflict was at hand and that the open battle for the Republic was about to begin. The dagger war had been raging for many, many years, with victories and defeats on both sides. Some had thought that Waco would be the boiling point, but had not gone as any had foreseen. The 90s had had its skirmishes, and the militias had performed well, but restrained themselves in the hope that some other solution would present itself. It had not. With each passing day, the pressure continued to build. The globalist agenda had been based upon lies, and the people knew it. Some were still trying to formulate a peaceful solution, but the system had its own plan, and treachery was the centerpiece of that plan. With the first blade drawn and blood spilled, there would be no turning back. In a time of its own choosing, and at a place no one had expected, the dance of swords would begin. That's a nice abbreviated way to explain to you when people ask me, I've had this happen, well, how do you think it's going to start? That is whenever I'm in private, conversation with people, and a lot of you listening know this because I've spoken with you, the first concern is, how will it start? Well, let me walk you through it, because it's going to happen this way, and we don't get to pick the location, but the goofs are going to pick somebody they want to attack. It's that simple. They're going to try, and most likely, although you never know with, like I said, we're on a sliding scale, but let's just stay between 60 and 90 days into the next year. The bat faggots combined with whatever Homeland Security bottom feeders, mostly mercenaries, are going to pick somebody that they're going to decide they want to use as an example. That action is going to be a face-off, and it's going to actually, initially be casualties for those who are surprised. It's going to happen that way. They're going to get caught off guard a little bit, but not much, because everybody can sense it, feel it, taste it, touch it. And what's going to happen is people are going to call on others, and there's a lot of people who are going to mobilize. The other side's going to do the same thing. Oh, and they have all their technology, but trust me, we're pulling out all the stops, and we have all of ours. At some point, there's going to be a column of goofs in black uniforms, idiots, mostly pea-brains. In fact, 99.9% pea-brains, in their spiffy little black uniforms with all their spiffy little alphabet letters on them. And that column of Suburbans and Labs and other nonsense are going to face off at an intersection. They're going to bump into each other by accident, mostly. And it'll be a column of militia, mechanized or light mechanized, and armed up, already cock-locked and ready to rock and roll. And the bottom feeders in the black uniforms will be screaming their profanities, and they'll be screaming and screaming and screaming, and the other side won't be screaming a whole lot. And somebody's going to pull a trigger. And there's going to be one hell of a popcorn exchange. It's going to, from a distance, it's going to sound like somebody opened up the popcorn pan from hell, okay? And when it's all said and done, there will be no turning back. I want you all to be ready for that. Notice I didn't shout about it. I didn't scream about it. And there's none of us that are in the militia community that will be surprised by it. There are none of you in the Patriot effort that should be surprised at it at all. Now, some will try to talk themselves out of it, and some will think they can make a deal. There are no deals with the devil. And when that happens, then all of the game plans, all of the nonsense the enemies thought to plug in will be for naught. And then the sky's the limit. Because one of the things that everybody has learned by watching what has happened over the years is in this game it's going to be use it or lose it. In other words, you make contact, you fire their hind end up, and you turn them into puddles of mush. You don't try to talk with them. You don't try to negotiate with them. You do what you have done before. Now, some of you are older gentlemen who were in World War II, and I know you can't dance the dance the way we could, in the past. I know that. But by God, you can still run a radio, and you can still drive a truck. Or you can at least help with men that are wounded or individuals that are hurt when the time comes and help to maintain the fabric of our society. But there's another group of veterans, the Korean War veterans, and guys, you're getting long in the tooth, too. You don't need to tell me. I know we got a lot of gentlemen in their 70s. And you know what? They're still online. And when the time comes, I don't care if you move fast. You pick the target, you put them down like the dog that they are with one round, and if all you did was take down that one black uniformed scumbag, you know what? That's one less we got to worry about. You pick the time, you pick the place, you neutralize the target. But there's a whole bunch of Vietnam vets. There's a whole bunch of other people that are from other wars and other periods of time in the last 40 years. And you are more than competent, and you are more than capable. And you've seen men die, and you've seen men stacked like cordwood. Okay? The other side, they always claim, man, we got a bunch of goofs on our side that are doing they're just stacked like cordwood. And next time someone says that, you turn and slap that sucker. Slap that girl for what he is. Okay, the next time you hear any goof come up with that or start yapping that BS, then you slap his hind end. Because everybody knows it's equal opportunity dying time once everything kicks in, and the other side ain't going to have it their way. Now, you're going to have to think ahead. Now, I'm going to tell you flat out, anybody who's running around like a chicken with their head cut off, shame on you. I don't want to hear any screaming. There shouldn't be any panic. I don't want to hear any, oh, it's so terrible. I don't want to hear any of that either. Congratulations. It's the life we're living. It's the times we have. Make the best of them you can. Organize to the best of your ability. Fight to win. And once we've won, help the other guys that are still in need of assistance to kick the slats off the other ones that they're facing. Moose season is going to be real short. However, there's going to be a couple of seasons that open up, and there's a reason for that, because the bad guys are hoping to waste our time and resources in lesser actions that they might consume and eat out our substance. We have thought for the long term. Now, all of you out there, every one of you must be prepared at least to take care of yourselves. You completely change the formula of what you're facing, and the enemy cannot predict effectively what they're going to do. If everybody just does some of the basic stuff that we've talked about, just food, any quantity of food and water you have on the shelf, means that you are thinking with your mind and not with your stomach.
Yep.
Every one of you. All you could do is say, oh, peace, love, dope, I just can't touch a weapon. Well, fine. I really wouldn't have a problem with that, provided you get up off your dead hind end and do something to prepare yourself. At least prepare yourself. In other words, get ready for what's coming. Now, that means food, that means water purification systems, and even if you don't think you're going to be a combatant, by God, you better get a gas mask, and you better do it now. Because they're already bragging about how they're going to bug spray people, okay? We already known that. That's part of their psychological formula, but what happens if we undermine it completely by being prepared for it? It changes the dynamic, just like everything else.
All right. You can't deny it, huh? I play the best stuff. Anyway.
Wow, it's amazing, brother. All right, I'm getting out of here, man. Listen, brothers, you guys have a great night. God bless you, and thank you. And I'm honored to be in the fight with you.
Be good, guys. So, be good. Mike, I guess I'll catch you later. And once again, thanks for doing that one-on-one with me. I look forward to getting that link, promoting that up there.
Right on. God bless everybody.
All right, take care. God bless the Republic, everybody. Take care. That's the end of the episode. Take care.
Amen.
Everybody, God bless.
Good night, everyone.